at round 9 of TORCS, which is McMahon Ranch. We were out here riding about 3 weeks ago for a ride day for George's 80th birthday. I hear the course is very similar to the way it was set up 3 weeks ago. That'll be good, but there'll be some extra new stuff that I haven't seen before. I took a lesson with Dirt Lab coaching last weekend, and one thing that I was told was I'm braking way too hard going into corners. So I'm gonna be cognizant of that during practice today. Also with the sand out here, I'm definitely going to be not braking as much anyway because the sand slows you down. Got my scoop tire on, ready for the sand. Also, if you take a look at my bike, my sag is set up a lot differently now. I took the lowering link off and put the stock link back on, so my bike's about an inch or inch and a half higher now. And I set the sag to 109 for the sand, so hopefully we'll have a good day today. Let's go do some practice. All right, I thought the course was fun. Real dusty, of course, lots of ruts, but we expected that. Racing, it's gonna be a real bitch though. Like trying to go fast and not drop the bike, that's gonna be the real challenge. So let's go do the race and let's have fun. That was funny, I've never done that before. Amazing start. It hasn't been starting very well the last couple races, but this time it started right on cue. So this guy comes from the outside and takes the lead away from me pretty quickly. I thought he was definitely going down there, so I was gonna be able to take it back. And then I tried to stay to the inside on that rut, and I popped out of the rut. Here comes Aaron flying by me on the left side. He always does that to me. So I took a lesson with Brandon Mason at Dirt Lab 2 weeks ago. He had me working on some ruts, and I was really happy to see some ruts forming during practice. And I said to myself, I am gonna go to the inside on every single turn, no matter what. You see a lot of people going to the outside. See me pop out of the rut there? I mean, of course I popped out a couple times, but primarily I tried to go to the inside every time. So 4 guys have passed me so far, and then I pretty much settle into 5th place here. I got 4 guys ahead of me and 6 guys behind me, so there's 11 people in my class. Big improvement from last year. Last year in the open section on this same race in November, everybody had passed me by the end of the open section. And today on this race, only really the few fastest people have passed me. So, and as you can see, I'm staying with this guy. So huge improvements from last year. I'm not fast enough to stay with the leaders yet. Look at that rut, that was nice. I pretty much stayed in that one the whole time. I can't stay with the leaders. Yeah, I'm not fast enough, but I'm riding so much more aggressive this time, and I'm so happy with myself after the end of this race, at least for the first lap. First lap was great. I think last year that was fun, sliding into that berm like that. Last year I was, let's see, 4 to 5 minutes behind the leaders, and this year only 2 minutes behind the leaders on the first lap. So huge improvements. This is definitely the most, I don't think this line was faster. It was shorter, but those whoops. Almost lost it there. Almost washed the front end there. But yeah, those whoops were worse than the other way around the tree. I think I was in 4th. Yeah, definitely in the wrong gear. I don't know how I ended up in 4th gear, because I very rarely ever click up to 4th in a TORCS race. We're gonna pause it right there. Promise I'll be back in 30 seconds. This video is brought to you by Dirt Lab Coaching. We're here with Cody, who's the owner of Dirt Lab Coaching, and he's gonna say a few words about his coaching philosophy.
Appreciate you guys tuning in, watching Chris. So my philosophy is all about building sustainability in the sport. Working on fundamentals, building a strong foundation, and creating riders that are going to last a lifetime.
I can say personally, my confidence riding on the trails and on the track has increased with Dirt Lab. I've taken lessons from both Cody and now Brandon. I'm a big believer in Dirt Lab. And stay tuned to the end of this video. We have a giveaway for you. All right, so after practice, I was thinking during practice, I was thinking, man, how am I gonna race on this? This part's not that bad, but in the wood section, it gets a little rough. And so I was thinking, how am I gonna race this? But once I got into the race and the adrenaline's kicking in, definitely just got all excited and went a lot faster. Stay to the inside there. Now watch this. I let off the throttle a lot earlier than I should. Right there. Still have 50 yards to the turn. So that's my next thing. I got to get more aggressive at braking. I think if I can... Oh man, I almost Superman'd there. That little jump surprised me and I wasn't squeezing with my knees. So for every lap we do, we probably have 50 to 100 turns, somewhere in there. And if I can just brake more aggressively into those turns, that's a minute and a half, is 90 seconds right there. So I finally got my speed up, my aggression up, but I'm definitely letting off the throttle way too early is what I noticed when I watched this back already. There's just whoops everywhere. We're about to go into the first creek section, and that's just the worst whoops you can imagine. Now it flattens out here. Now watch this. I'm going to veer off to the right and try to save it. And when I try to save it, I wash out the front. It's just so soft there. You see the rocks, but so soft. So if you turn the bars at all, front's going to wash. So two people passed me. Both of them, they're in my class. And I am just laboring the rest of this creek. They say you need to row the boat, right? Row the boat, but damn, it doesn't, I don't know, nothing seems to work. That's also Mark Sobek in my class. He passes me just because I'm twiddling my thumbs in those whoops, and he's on a CR250, and he's just powering through them. Alright, finally out of that creek section, and all I'm thinking is get up into third gear and stay with Mark. Just stay with them. Because I've never been able to stay with people and catch a tow, but every time I come out of a corner I can see them. So I'm just thinking, stay with them, stay aggressive, stay aggressive, stay aggressive. Watch this. I got off the path there and then I said, oh crap, I better go over this huge log that's not even on the trail. I didn't ride this fast in practice, but I can see that it's a pretty windy day, so I can see that the dust is clearing. I can see the trail. I'm not right behind Mark, but I'm farther enough back where I have good vision of the trail.
And as long as I can keep them in sight, I know I'm doing well. Doing better than I've ever done before. Just gotta keep it on 2 wheels. So in this section, there's lots of little ruts that are just wide enough for your tire, and you gotta get your front tire in them. If you don't, your back tire is gonna slide down into it. You're gonna be in trouble. You'll be cross-rutted at that point. Not necessarily cross-rutted, but you're gonna have one wheel in the rut, one wheel out of the rut, and it's a very unsettling, uneasy feeling. So I'm just taking my time to make sure I hit the ruts. There's a couple of big roots that you have to get your tire in between, like right here. Actually, I went over that left-hand route. So I could still see Mark. I'm being aggressive. Now watch this line. This is coming up a lot more aggressive than what he takes. I just go right over that tree. Now I'm catching him. And this is a super aggressive line right here. I remember that from the ride day. You can cut under that tree, and now I'm right back on his wheel. So I've never been able to do this. I've never been able to reel somebody back in that passed me, and my heart is beating, the adrenaline is racing, and all I'm thinking is stay on him, don't screw it up, don't go down, because if I go down, I'll never see him again. That's a 50C rider that's now in between us, so he's not in our class. So we're in the open section, and Mark's definitely faster than me in the open section. That's why you see him get away from me a little bit. But once we get back in the sand, I'll be able to pull him back in. I started off not liking the sand at all when I first started riding, and now I'm actually doing better in the sand. We had a TX2 race 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago that was all sand. I actually did pretty well in that race. I think I got 5th overall out of like 8 or 9 people. So you see a lot of these sandy sections are just whooped out, and you want to go faster, but you can't. Like, I guess the only way to go faster is to find lines that are not in the main line. If I go any faster in this section, I'll jump one of the whoops and land into the next one. I've done that before and almost gone over the bars, so I'm pushing it as hard as I can here. So I turn this corner and I see I caught up to Mark again, so that's good. And then now I notice that he's going a lot slower. So he takes this exit wide, and I take that opportunity to just zoom right up the inside here. I got the inside rut here. He's got to go outside, and then I'll close him off at this little bush. Can't see that on the GoPro, but I knew from my peripheral vision that I had a wheel on him, so I kind of shut the door on him a little bit, and he had to back off. It's really good for my confidence too, because I've never been able to do that before. This section was really sketchy because it's really loose and rocky. Okay, so now I reeled in another person from my class because that 50C rider got around him, and I think this is Leland in front of me. He was one of the guys who passed me in the creek when I went down. So I recognize him, and I'm thinking, okay, yeah, let's go past him. That's what I'm thinking now. It's so funny, the front wheel just goes wherever it wants to go in the sand. I think I found a pretty good line over here, and I'm using that to close the gap. So I get right on his tire here. Yeah, that line, I thought it was going to be faster, but I ended up just not being able to maintain the speed through it. Definitely conscious of getting up onto the seat, up onto the front of the seat, trying to remember all the things that I learned in my lesson. Not braking as hard as I usually do on those turns. So definitely a lot more confident in the ruts right now than I was before I did that lesson with Brandon. Okay, so I'm over here on one of the smooth lines, but so is Leland in front of me. He's put a little bit of a gap in between us now. Alright, so there's another 50C rider that's now put himself in between us. And it's kind of deflating because you're working so hard to reel this guy in, but Leland actually falls right here. Look to the right. See his orange helmet? He tried to take the inside line on this second creek entrance, and I went out. So, yeah, he ends up... I tried to go around that guy because I'm thinking, I got another rider to try to come and pass. Because at this point, I am in 6th place, I think. Yeah, but I'm thinking, oh, I should be in 5th because I fell and two people passed me. This is tricky right here. You have to go to the outside. The inside of this turn is just all rooted and rutted up. You can't get up it very easily at all. Yeah, so I tried to get around that guy in the creek, and he was like, I'm not having any of that. He's like, I just passed you. That second creek was worse than the first as far as, I mean, it had more rocks in it, but the sand was looser. It was so loose, it was tough. Be going through here faster, I know it. There we go, we get the RPMs up right there. I'm sure the leaders like Aaron and them were just blitzing through there. I feel really confident going over routes like that though now. I've been really trying to tune up my suspension a little bit and just let that suspension just hit and absorb all that. Especially riding at C-Tour, which is a lot of rocks and roots, just gives me a lot of confidence to just, there's that front tire just getting grabbed again, but it just gives me confidence to throttle over that stuff and let the suspension absorb it. Fun little jump coming up here. You just got to stay on the throttle right here. Because if you chop the throttle, the back end's gonna buck up for sure. Ask me how I know. The ride day, I did that for sure. There's another fun jump too. I think coming up in a minute or two, I'll point it out. So just watching this section back, I know I can go faster through this. You just get through those tough creeks and everything, and you think, okay, I can rest now. I can take a breather. But you can't. You really just, you got to stay aggressive and continue to push if you want to get to the top 5. Because those guys are pushing. Almost went over the bars there. I saw that little rut in the ground and I tried to throttle over it and it didn't work, and I throttled right into it and I almost went over. Little smooth line to the outside here. But yeah, those top 5 guys are just aggressive the whole race. They're aggressive for 70 minutes. And I'm being aggressive here for like maybe 15, 20 minutes. Well, at least more aggressive than I'm used to. So that's something that I'm gonna have to work on for sure. See, I could have powered out of that corner a lot faster. Just like go full stop. I'm in 3rd gear. I'm not gonna get thrown off the bike or wheelie, but look how long this street is. So that's just me telling myself I gotta get out to the track and just practice that consistently. Coming out of a corner, just go to full stop. And then work on that aggressive braking into the next corner. If I can get that down in the next 6 months, I'll surely be, those kids on the 85s just crack me up. No fear, just yeah, I'll surely be a lot faster. So that's me watching this back from that point of view, is thinking, okay, aggressive out of the corners and more aggressive braking, higher corner speed, those 3 things, I can get up into the top 5, I think. Alright, so we're coming up on the kind of the hard easy split section. I take all the easy lines. That doesn't look steep on camera, but a couple of my guys in my class were taking the easy line, or the hard line up there. I don't know why I didn't go over that tree there. I went over that tree in practice, and then I almost lose it over that root right there. I know I'm going way too slow through here as well. Like, I'm using this section to kind of breathe, but I need to stay aggressive in this section. You just went through 19, 20 minutes of whoops, 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 whoops. So it's like, oh, I can breathe finally, but no, I need to stay aggressive, more aggressive. So that's lap 1. I'm just going to show you some highlights and bloopers from laps 2 and 3. Gonna almost wash it out here. Watch this. Good save, good save. All right, watch this. Watch this tree coming up. Right here. It's a good thing I had my clutch covered and I was going so slow. That's a whiskey throttle moment for sure right there. All right, I think I almost tuck it here. Yeah, I almost tucked it there, but I throttled out. I'm learning to throttle out of those situations, which is nice. And watch this slide.
Whoa.
Bike starts sliding until
Accidentally.
I hook up with that berm. All right, watch this. I think I was in third, should have been in second, and then another one right here.
Oh shit.
Oh no, here's a fall. By this time, I'm just getting really tired and winded. Picking my bike up several times. And I just find a place here to pull over and rest. Drink some water. Because it's... When I was sick back in September, it's just really starting to catch up to me here. So that was a minute. This is disastrous. You know what it is? I'm just not carrying as much speed as I was on lap 1. And everything was easy when I was riding so fast. And now I'm riding slower because I'm all winded and tired. And I'm making more mistakes, which is making me pick the bike up more and just making everything worse. Now watch this. This guy's kicking up so much dust, I can't see the course anymore. Little off-road adventure there.
Wow, good save.
So yeah, maintaining and carrying momentum on a sand course like this is so important, and when I'm tired and winded, it just gets worse, and it's a compounding effect, because then you fall more and you're having to pick your bike up more and you're getting more tired, and then you go slower and it's all worse. Now watch the line this guy takes. This is cheating right here. You can't go to the inside like that when the marker's on the inside of the turn. It's clearly in the rules, but he just did it. All right, so I get stuck in some fallen branches over to the left right here, and I get stuck and I can't get out. This is those soft sand rocks. And you can't see it, but I'm on an incline and I can't get the front tire back up. So, like, what do I do? At this point, I'm exhausted. This is lap 3. I almost quit after lap 2, but I decided to push through it, just keep going. This is my friend Andy, he stops.
I'm a little stuck. I can wait for the sweeper. Huh? I'll wait.
So his arm is hurt from the fall. He can't help pull me out. I'm just exhausted. I can't get my bike out. Finally, I decided, let's just start it. See if I can get over this tree stump, and I do. And then I start getting overheated. Well, first I see this little adventure I could take up there. I try that. It doesn't get me out of the creek. I'm right back in it. By this time, I'm overheating, feeling nauseous, starting to see stars in my vision, and I have to pull over. So Mark, the guy who passed me in the creek and I passed back, he comes over and asks, hey, are you okay? Do you want me to use I have a radio on me. Do you want me to radio in? I was like, yeah, I can't get out of the creek. I'm having heat exhaustion symptoms. And so he radios in and they're like, he's got to get out. I'm like, I'm just going to wait for the sweeper. Come get me out, because somebody's got to come through and sweep the whole course. Finally, my respiration comes down, my core temperature comes down, and I feel like, okay, I can get out now. But that was 10 minutes. I sat there for 10 minutes before that happened. You could see my dust gator that I was using for lap 1. It's on my handlebars. Yeah, I guess I could have just finished up lap 3, but I just took a shortcut to get back to the pits, and I think it was a good decision. I just hate doing that, but my body has just not fully recovered from being sick in September. Racing with all this dust twice a month is just not helping, so definitely need to take some time off. I'm still gonna ride, but probably stick to the tracks. I still had a fun race, got the hole shot, which was great, my second hole shot. I think I was in 3rd or 4th place when I went down in the creek and 2 or 3 guys passed me. I was able to pass one person back, which I don't think I've ever passed somebody back after being passed before. So that's a great step up for me. After lap 1, I was in 6th place out of 11. So that's a good place to be. Kind of hit that wall in lap 2, and then lap 3 was just, I had to pick up the bike like 2 or 3 times on the 3rd lap, and each time was getting harder and harder, and finally just had to call it quits.
So you guys, what we're gonna do is, if you watch this video until the end and you saw this, I'm gonna give you 10% off any Dirt Lab camp that you wanna sign up for, or 10% off any private coaching.
That's a great value, you guys. So they do 90-minute lessons, 2-hour lessons, privates, and then they do clinics and group lessons as well. So 10% off. Just mention Unlimited Moto and you'll get 10% off. So use it up, go get some coaching, and thanks to Dirt Lab.
Thank you, Chris.
Until next time, thanks for watching this far. If you like this video, tell the YouTube algorithm that you liked it and give it a thumbs up. Thanks.